This is okay?
Yeah, there is a microphone. Do you want it?
If it's okay without, I would rather without. If everyone could hear it, then
It might be good for people that might not hear so well.
Everybody here? Might be better with people about it.
Yeah, right.
okay.
Some people that don't hear.
Okay, shalom aleichem. It's always a zchut to be back here. Does this work? Closer? It works. It's always a zchut to be back here with the holy Beit Medrash. Everyone should have a gemar chatima tova, beautiful, sweet year. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, which seem to be three separate chagim. Mary Kadosh explains that really
No, I can't hear.
there's actually one story going on.
Maybe it might need to be closer.
Yeah, maybe without it's better. The pasuk says, "Smolo tachat leroshi v'yamino chatkicha bekeni." In Shir HaShirim, the pasuk that describes the union between Knesset Israel and Hashem Barach, Shir HaShirim discusses the love affair between the Creator of the world and the Jewish nation. And in this description of the yichud, of the unification, there's first a hug. Smolot tachat leroshi, there's a left-handed hug, and then yaminot chabekeni, then there's a right-handed hug. And in this pasuk, the Ari Kadosh explains that the left hug and the right hug has to do with chasadim and gvurot, with two approaches that Am Yisrael gets from Hashem. A hug from the left, that means gvura, and then a hug from the right, that means chesed. And Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, as a matter of fact, is one process of yichud, of unification of the Creator of the world and Am Yisrael. We look back to Rosh Hashanah, the day that starts this process, is the day of the creation of man, as we all know. And in the day that man was created, man was meant to get the job done that day. You're the creation, there's a creator, there's instructions, there's a mission. Every hour there was a different mission. Get it done. Unify the creation with the creator. Let's make the whole tent one, which is the mission of mankind. But man didn't. Whole separate topic, the sin of Adam HaRishon, you can discuss it for 1,000 years, but so much Torah that went on there. But in short, this process of unifying creation with creator, instead of taking one day, actually breaks into a 21-day process. This process that we're in now, these Yamim Nora'im, in the language of Chazal, they're called Yamim Nora'im. Now the word Norah, you guys know what the word Norah is? Sometimes you'll be like, oh, is that Norah? It was in Hebrew, oh, is that Norah?
Awesome.
Awful or awesome, oh, Norah. But the truth is that Norah, we have Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor, VaNorah. HaGadol is Abraham, Gibor Yitzchak. Norah, Ma Norah makom hazeh. Norah is the expression of Yaakov. Yaakov, in his vision of Hashem, he saw the completion. He saw his father and his grandfather. He saw how the Creator is also a Baal Chesed and also a Baal Gvura. And therefore, he had a unified vision of the Creator. Wow, you're a merciful Creator. You give a Chesed and you give the boundaries that the Chesed needs, the Gvura, and together, wow, what a harmony, what a balance. This is Yaakov Avinu. And he said, Ma Norah makom hazeh. Norah describes the Rachamim of Hashem. Yaakov, right? Avraham, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Rachamim. So these Yamim are Yamim Nora'im. They are days of Tiferet. They are days of beauty. They are days of merging the Midot of Hashem, the Chesed and the Din, and creating the Rachamim. Because the world is not just created. It's like a chunk. Like, here's the creation. It's created through time. Every year is another unfolding of another layer and another layer and another. And every year is a cycle where every year we get in touch with the same chagim and the same moadim. So when the year starts, the Creator is saying, I'm creating life. Is there a nation that's interested in listening to me and listening to the laws of life, to bringing in life into the creation? So we stand on Rosh Hashanah, we say Rosh Hashanah is Yom HaDin. It means that's the day that every din in the world is decided, every restriction, every limitation. For example, if you look at something that's built so beautiful like a Jewish marriage, marriage should have so much love and romance and so much beauty in it. And how does a Jewish marriage start? So technical, with a ksuba. If you die, I give you this. If I divorce, like, come on, like, we just met. Like, it's so nice. Like, what are we just dealing with all these like nitty gritties? My friend, if you don't deal with these things now, one day, if chas v'shalom they're needed, it's going to be a mess. If things are not defined, if the terms are not defined at the beginning of the contract, it's going to be a balagan later on. So defining things at the beginning is Rosh Hashanah, Yom HaDin, is a day that a kadosh says, I'm going to define every creation, how it's going to bring in light, how it's going to fulfill its mission. If a creation is passive, is ignoring it, then he's going to end up revealing it despite his wish. But if the creation is active, they're proactive, they come, yeah, of course, Creator, we understand that the world needs judgment, needs rules. We're actually happy about your rules. We love your rules. Na'aseh v'nishma. One of the convenes of hearing the shofar is we're receiving the Torah. We're so happy about these laws. So if you love the laws then become favor to you. They're not against you. Right? They're there to defend the relationship. So that's the beginning. Rosh Hashanah, in the language of Kabbalah, and the Ramban brings down, is called Yom HaDin HaRachamim. That means that since the Creator is telling us that on this day creation starts, and at the beginning of the creation, I'm going to define for these 48 hours every detail in creation, then when we accept that, that brings mercy on the world. And that we dealt with Rosh Hashanah, bringing Rechamim, the shofar is the call for mercy, and I'm sure you guys learned about it. What is Yom Kippur? Yom Kippur is Yom HaRachamim Badin. Okay? So we have Yom HaDin HaRachamim. There's a day that the heavens have judgment, and therefore we do the avodah in this world of furthering the judgment into mercy, Yom Kippur is a day of mercy. That means that Yom Kippur is a Yom HaRachamim. It's a day that the Creator says, I'm putting you into this creation. You're going to be so far from the truth. This world is olam hasheker. Each one of us lives we all live in our own body with our own senses. We're so sure of ourselves and our position. It's a lie. It's not the truth. It's our truth. So there's the Creator brought us into this world. We're so far from the truth. Each one of us is in His perspective. So we recognize that the Creator in His mercy says, I'm going to put you in such a distance from me, everyone's going to sin on some level. That means that justice decrees that there should be mercy. I'm putting you in a place that it's impossible for you as if to not sin. So Midot HaRachamim, there should be a day of Rachamim for people that want Rachamim. So this is a day of Rachamim. That's why the Gemara writes, the Chazal write, that the solar year has 365 days. Shasa, Hasatan, the Satan, is gematria numerical 364. That means that the numerical value of a Satan is 1 day less than the solar year, right? 365 and 364. And the Gemara tells us why. This is to show you that there's 1 day a year that the Satan is not involved in. It's not in his mission. It's Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, we have a whole avodah with the Satan. We have the Seir Azazel, very fascinating carbon that we do. We take a goat, a Seir, and we send them on 10 journeys into the Azazel, into the mountains, and we throw them down the mountain. And that's similar. We occupy the Satan that day. There's no Satan. It's a day of all Rachamim. So therefore, Hashem is saying, I'm showing you that in heavens is going to be a day of all mercy. What should you guys do on earth? Grab the judgment. That's the day to come and say, we're accepting full responsibility for every distance, for everything that we did. Rosh Hashanah, we don't do vidui. Rosh Hashanah is not about vidui. Rosh Hashanah is a day to remember, it's a day of creation of man. Creator, you're creating man today, and I am re-accepting my position as man. I'm re-accepting the responsibility of man. We are your nation. You're the king, and we're a nation. That's what you wanted. That's Rosh Hashanah. So we see something fascinating, that we're actually involved in not separate mitzvahs. It's something that we constantly talk about, especially through the eyes of Kabbalah. We learn to see that everything is one. Everything is one. And the external looks like on Pesach, you eat matzah, and over here you eat this, and things look so different. And what's the rhyme for that, and the reason for that? But it's actually all one. And it's the story is, how does man bring life into creation? How does man partner up with God? This year is Shnat Tafshin Pei Vav, which spells out the word shutaf. Shutaf means partner, which means, I believe that for me, this very strong felt that this year is a year that we could and we should emphasize and notice and celebrate the partnership of man and God. It's something to celebrate. It means the Creator is saying, "Hashemayim shamayim la'Hashem v'aretz natan livnei adam." I want a partnership with you guys. I'm going to teach you guys how I behave in heaven, and you guys behave a certain way in earth, and together life will come into the world. Rachamim, mercy will come into the world. So we actually always learn about what is God doing now, what is God telling us to do, and how does, oh wow, it's all one dance. So by us unifying the midot, realizing that in order for life to come into the world, there has to be a balance of chesed, gvura, tiferes. So when there's chesed in the heavens, we do gvura. When there's gvura in the heavens, we do chesed. All that to create this balance to allow life to flow. As a matter of fact, it's very interesting on the Sukkot, we have to take Arba Minim, and we say, Asher Kiddishanu mitzvah v'tzivanu an letilat lulav. We tell Hashem, with the bracha that we make is not Asher Kiddishanu on the Esrog and the Hadassim and the Arba Minim and the lulav. And the Sfarim write that lulav is gematria Chaim. Chaim, Chet Yud Yud Mem, life. That means that if you meditate on this bracha for a moment, you could say Asher Kiddishanu mitzvah v'tzivanu an letilat Chaim. Wow, you created the world. I'm so excited, and I'm noticing that you joined me in this partnership, my nation, that you gave us life in our hands. You gave us the decisions to bring the life into the world. These 4 minim, obviously, after the days of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, which are days of din, meaning Rosh Hashanah is a day of din in heavens, and we do mercy on earth. Yom Kippur is a day of mercy in heavens, we do din over here. Sukkot. That means after a person behaves in this manner, after a nation behaves in this manner, after a nation fully accepts the blessing of Hashem and the judgment of Hashem, then the Creator says, okay, now we can create a world together. Let's create a world together. That's Sukkot. Sukkot is the house we built together. Go out of your house. That's not your house. Come into my house. Don't just invite people. You're going to invite Ushpizin. Wow, Ushpizin. What's these Ushpizin? What does it mean? We're inviting Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Moshe, and this. And the ultimate is Simchat Torah. The ultimate is that we reach at the end of this 21-day process that our nation stands as a nation in front of the Creator and says, Creator of the world, you're the King of the world. And we know it, and we're happy with your Torah. So what should have taken Adam Rishon 1 day, again, takes us 21 days. And it's one process of mankind embracing its position, embracing the partnership, and then rejoicing with it. I'll touch on some topics on Yom Kippur, and then we'll see. One of the things we do on Yom Kippur, very interesting, we go to shul, we say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam V'ed out loud. Right? We usually say it quiet. So I saw a nice mashal that, why do we say it quiet? Because everyone knows that the way we learned that pasuk is when Moshe Rabbeinu went up to heaven to receive the Torah, he heard, this is how the angels praise Hashem. So he brought it down to earth. So why don't we say it on earth? Why do we say it quiet? Why do we whisper it? So the mashal is that a guy went into the king's chamber and stole a piece of jewelry. Really nice piece of jewelry. And then he came home and he gave it to his wife. And he told his wife, he says, listen, you could wear this anywhere, just not in public. Just you can wear it in the house. So that means that there's certain levels of that Moshe Rabbeinu alita lamarom shavita shevi. Moshe Rabbeinu went up to the heavens and he captured something, and he brought down this angelic praise that we normally can't connect to. But this one day a year, Yom Kippur, where man becomes angel. Very interesting. Man is defined as angel that day. We have Mishayin Nuim, we don't eat, we don't sleep, nothing of angels. As a matter of fact, the peak of man turning into an angel is when the Kohen Gadol offers the Ktoret. We know that every day the Kohen Gadol, in the Beit Medrash was brought Ktoret in the morning and in the evening, and Yom Kippur was brought a third time. There was another brought a Ktoret that went inside Kodesh HaKodeshim, which never happens throughout the year. It's only one time a year that this special offering, the Ktoret, goes into Kodesh, the Holy of Holies. And when the Ktoret goes into the Kodesh HaKodeshim, it says, B'chol adam lo yeh bo'el moed b'oel HaKodesh. No human being could be in Oel Moed when the Kohen Gadol enters the Beit HaKodesh. And what do you mean? He's going in. How could there be no human if he's going in? That means he cannot go in as a human. When he goes in, he's on a level that he's not a human. If he's a human, he dies. The Kohanim Gedolim that went in human, they went in with their own, they died. The only existence, meaning at that day, really man is invited into the heavens to behave mamash like malachim.
How many Kohanim were now alive?
In the first Beit HaMikdash, the Gemara discusses that there were Kohanim that had many Kohanim that were there for 40 years and longer. In the second Beit HaMikdash, 80 years, was different. They were very, very long. And the second Beit HaMikdash, once the Greek, towards the end, once the whole Greek balagan started, so the kahuna was already, it became politics. So it was bought out, and then they would every year replace it. They would have to pull them out every year.
Who would want that job exactly?
I think the same thing about politics. Like, who wants to be a prime minister? People want it.
Yeah, it's out there. But here's a job we're gonna have to pull your body out of.
At least you're dying Kodesh HaKodeshim over there. I don't know where these people.
That's the way to go.
I would just, it's definitely a good eye opener to see how deep the human ego,
Well, it's probably
how strong the human
painless.
ego drive is.
Yeah. It's probably painless though, right?
Okay. A little bit more about Yom Kippur. So obviously, Yom Kippur is a day that we take responsibility for all of our averos, especially so averos divided into two: ben adam lechavero, ben adam lemakom. There's man to man, man to God. Man to God is easy, much easier. Man to man is the challenge. The gullus that we're in till today is man to man. It's not a man to God gullus. We're right now still in the fights of Yosef and his brothers, and everyone wants to be right. You know, that's still the gullus. So really, Ben Ish Chai brings that in Baghdad, the minhag was a massive shul, and the minhag was that right before Kol Nidre, the Chazan would get onto the bima and he would make a big announcement. He would say, "Holy brothers and sisters, everyone forgive each other." And everyone would say, "Machul lachem." It will be like a mass forgiveness, which is Geval. But it's important to, this is the day that we take on the din, that we take full responsibility. We tell the Satan, we don't need you. We're examining ourselves. Like where Mamish going, we don't need the Satan that day. It's not that he's not only there, we don't need him even that day. That day where Mamish, you know, even though you see a guy all year, he's not like that. Yom Kippur, everyone behaves in a much more elevated way. And there's actually 10 viduyim that we say in Yom Kippur. 10 times Hashem L'Maganu. Obviously, wherever you see the number 10, your Kabbalistic alarm should go off. It's always parallel to the 10 spheres. Obviously, the Pagam happens always in Sarasa Dibris, always. And obviously, we hit the heart. And hitting the heart, obviously, is the heart is the reason of the sin. Because our heart is where we feel separate. My emotions. That's Etz HaChaim, Etz Hadat Tovera. Etz HaChaim is the mind. Etz Hadat Tovera is in the heart. It's a lower place. It has more revelation, but it has more hiding. It's a very interesting place. And it says in the pasuk, "V'lo tatuach kelev avchem v'achreinechem." Person should have followed their own heart. I mean, that all sin really is falling into a private feeling, like my heart, stepping out of the collective. So that's really like hitting the heart is really like noticing that the root of all sin or anything wrong is my selfish feeling. And where I want to be is I want to feel Am Yisrael. I don't want to just be feeling myself. So we hit the heart. Okay. Couple more inyanim on Yom Kippur. On Mincha, I'm skipping throughout the day because there's a lot to talk about, but on Mincha, there's a very interesting haftorah called Mafter Yonah. You guys remember you go to shul, and they read the entire Sefer Yonah. Yonah is one chapter, and it's a story of a prophet that received prophecy during Beit Mikdash. He went to Simchas Beis Shoeva, and he runs away from his mission, and fear swallows him. Everyone knows the story. And obviously, this is very, very deep for this day, because it's a day of really returning to our essence, and everyone kind of asking themselves, what is my mission? Of embracing the human mission, not running away from it. It's a deeper thought of tshuva. It's not just tshuva, okay, I did something wrong. It's maybe I'm running away. There's a deeper tshuva of I want to return to that deep call to my mission. Go to Nineveh and call that city and wake her up. So that's another Indian of that we do on Yom Kippur. Very important to do Yizkar. This is actually brought down in the Sfarim already. Sfarim Akadmaini. We don't do some Sfarim. Some kilos don't do Yizkar and Rosh Hashanah. They only do Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is a very, very holy time, and we have to know that life was here way before we started, and it's here way after we pass away. And that is linked to everyone. And the relationships of the life and the death are they're strong. We affect them, and it's very, very important on a person, especially on Yom Kippur, to menadeh tzedakah and to go into these tefillas and lighting the candles has a very, very big to'elet, because the judgment is not only for the live, it's for creation. So people that left this world already they can't do anything. But the live ones, their brothers, their sisters, their relatives, their grandkids that are here could do for them. So it's important. It's a day to remember mankind, not just alive, elevate mankind. Okay. So then from Yom Kippur, we get to Sukkot. And Sukkot, the Sukkah in the language of the Zohar is called Tzila de Mehemnuta, the shadow of the Emunah. That means that our assurance, our bitachon in this world is not anything physical, it's not anything material. In this light of Yamim Nora'im, in this light of seeing the truth that everything is Hashem and the flow of Hashem coming into the world, we recognize that the only way there's life in the world is because of Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, Yosef, the Avot and the Imaot HaKadoshim. They are the Merkavot. Let's look at prehistory. What was before Avraham Avinu? Creator was creating generations and washing them away, destroying them away. Thousands, men, women, children, animals. Lo ahanuli, I don't need these guys. Avraham Avinu was the first one to say, okay, the world is created for you. So that means he was the Merkava. He was the first person that life was riding on him and through him. We say Rochev Ba'aravad. Hashem is Rochev, is Merkava. There's a Rochev in the Merkava. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. So on this day that we're at the beginning of the year, we're saying, okay, where are we holding that? We're the first day of creation. What Adam HaRishon should have done the first day, we're doing now. So we're accepting the total love of Hashem. We're accepting the total din of Hashem, which should have happened on the first day. Hashem told Adam HaRishon, le'ovda u'le'shomra, mitzvot aseh, mitzvot lo taseh. And after we accept the love, the midot of Hashem, we understand that Hashem wants to rest in the world. He wants human partners. And who are those human partners? Those are the Merkava, the Avot and the Imam. So we say, where could we live? Where could we rest? We could live in the shadow of the Emunah. So we leave our house, we go into a tent, we go into a shack, and we say, what's the security of this world? Being connected to Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. And these are the figures and the avodah that we invite into our life. Because after doing the din of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, Sukkot is all about water. It's all about chesed. The Mishnah says, "B'chag nidonim al hamayim," and Sukkot is the judgment of how much water comes to the world. In the Beit HaMikdash in Sukkot, there was nisuch hamayim. There was a ceremony that took place only on Sukkot. Hours and hours, 15 hours, from 2 hours before sunset till sunrise. Every night of Sukkot, there would be an unbelievable ceremony where the entire nation would go down to the Shiloach River and bring up this gold jug full of water, and then they would go back with music and trumpets and go back to the Beit HaMikdash and pour it onto the Mizbech, and then they would dance all night. This is how it was celebrated. There was no sleeping in Yerushalayim and Sukkot. No one slept. Lo ra'inu shena be'enenu. They used to have these massive torches. They used to light up the entire Chatzer. Women were able to sit down and sew at night from the light that was in the. So it was a day that we totally, at that point, after we accept the attitudes, Hashem, okay, we accept your judgment, Nasev and Ishmael, we accept your Torah and your mitzvahs and your din. We love your din. You love my din? Good. Chesed. Now my chesed could flow into the world. And what do? We bring 70 korbanot for the 70 nations because we embrace our partnership. We realize the Creator wants to act through man. The Creator wants man to co-partner with him. He wants a nation like this. And it's our nation. This is us. So that means that right now we're not responsible for ourselves. We're in the faucet of how the life comes to the world, all the water. The Gemara says that if the Goyim knew the Shefa that came down in the Beis Hamikdash, would be throwing lulavim at the Jews. It's the Shefa of the world. It's life of the world. It's not about Jews. It's life of the world. So on these and the 7 days of the Chag, we bring 7. Besides from many korbanot, there's a whole 70 cow ceremony. So first day 13, then 12, then 11, and till on the 7th day it's 7. And these cows are korbanot that we bring for the nations, for the 70 nations. The 70 nations break into 2 groups of 35. Esav has 35, and Ishmael has 35. And these cows are exactly divided, 35 and 35. That means that we recognize, we embrace the human partnership with God as being mamlechet kohanim v'goy kadosh to the world, not Am Yisrael. And we're saying the goyim, the world, the animals, everything needs this partnership, this godly partnership. So it's a time of chesed, a time of mayim. That's why the arba minim that we use, the way they're defined are gedelim al kol mayim. These are 4 minim that are always green. There's evergreens. Some trees in the winter are barren. Lulav hayavesh pasul. If a lulav is dry, it's pasul. Why? It has to have life. It has to have a green. Green symbolizes that there's a vessel and there's green is tiferet. When it's green, right? Look at the trees. They have the water and they have the sun, right? That creates that green. That green is the balance. Green is balance. So these arba minim are minim that are forever balanced. The flow of Hashem is flowing through them the entire year. So we take these arba minim, and these arba minim also symbolize Am Yisrael. Everyone knows the famous Medrash. The etrog symbolizes the tzaddik. He has a great smell, and he's also a fruit. He's also edible. That's the ultimate tree. That's all uses. Then you have the adasim that smell great, but they're not edible. Then you have the lulav, it's edible but doesn't smell. And then you have the arava, he's not edible, he doesn't smell. And Hashem says, this is how I like you guys. Bring me the tzaddikim, the beinanim, the rashaim in one bunch. This is my nation. I want you guys together. This is the flow. This is how the bracha comes in. So again, if on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur we're dealing with the attitude of how to accept the din of the world, din of Hashem, Sukkos were, how do we accept the chesed of Hashem? What are we doing? Wow, we embrace our position that we are the wonderful nation that are partners with the Creator of the world. And through this partnership, life will come to the world, is coming to the world. That's why the Medrash says that you see 2 people going into court, and they go into court, and you're asking your friend, hey, what happened with that case? Who won? He says, go look at the exit when you leave. Go see the guy that's walking out holding the sword. He won. Am Yisrael goes to court, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, we don't know who's winning. When we go out holding the lulav, it's called Didan Natzach. We won. This is a sign that the Creator has allowed us, He has allowed life to flow through mankind. We're celebrating that the Creator teaches man his secrets of when he behaves this way and when he behaves this way. And he tells man, when I behave this way, you behave that way. Let's create a balance. Let's create a balance that life could flow into the world. And we celebrate the fact, and that's the ultimate tshuva. That's really, really the ultimate tshuva of these days. There's tshuva of sins. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to do more of that. That's gaval, that's particular. But there's tshuva of saying, Creator, I realize that there's an order to the world. It's not, life is not random. Mitzvot are not random. There's an order. And I want to return to feel your order. You know, the chokhmah of Kabbalah is called chokhmat ha'emet, the wisdom of emet. This world is called olam ha'shekel. So we're standing in olam ha'shekel, but we're dancing the dance of emet. We're listening to the words of emet. We're connected to them. So that's really, really the tshuva is really, I would say, a bigger embracing the partnership of what is man. Creator, this is how you want man to know you. You want man to know your behavior. Why? So man could bring in life into the world. So this partnership of Hashem and Am Yisrael, and this is really the name Am Yisrael, our name, that's how we received our name. The name Am Yisrael, the name Yisrael comes when Yaakov Avinu fights with the Saraya of Tzfat, with the Malach of Tzfat. And when he wins him over, he says, okay, bless me. He says, no, what's your name? Okay, your name is Yisrael. It's not going to be Yaakov anymore, it'll be Yisrael. Why? Because you were able to contain, you were able to stand with godliness, you were able to stand with judgment, and you were able to live with it. Judgment doesn't break you. It means that you're able to contain all attitudes and to bring life forth. That's really what Am Yisrael is. We stand on this day of on these days and we say, Creator of the world, we're totally embracing you, we're totally containing you. And we're thankful and we're grateful that we are your partners, and we're asking that we should fulfill our mission with joy and with devotion and with emunah, and that Am Yisrael should really see deeper and not just be connected to random external mitzvot, but really get excited over our partnership with Hashem. May we all feel that there's no human being in the world that could deserve this, only a Jewish nation, only a nation. And we need each other. Only a nation could contain the Shekhinah. There's no human being, there's no individual that could say, Chasmeini l'chaim, Zachreini l'chaim. We don't see any, everything is Zachreinu, Chasmeinu, it's us. So Yeh Ratzon that Hashem should give us a deeper look at life, a deeper look at each other, a deeper excitement about life. And that we should all have this Yom Kippur, the gift of forgiveness, the gift of, especially Ben Adam L'Chavero. This is worth mentioning, a standalone point. Forgiveness is a very deep topic. A person may often say, why forgive him? They don't deserve it. Why forgive them? They're still bad, they're still sinning. Why forgive them? And I would tell you, start forgiving for a selfish reason. Forgive because for the wrong reason. The wrong reason to forgive would say, I don't want to walk around with pain. I don't want to walk around with anger. I don't want to walk around holding a coal that's burning and saying, why does everything smell like fire and everything's black? I don't want to walk around with the worst emotions in the world. I'm doing this for selfish reasons. You don't deserve it, but I'm here to become more godly, and I'm here to become more holy, and I'm here to become a forgiver. And that's even forgiving for the wrong reason is better. And B'ezrat Hashem, Hashem should give us really the kavschut to be able to have compassion over each other and to have forgiveness to each other. May we see our nation come together and really receive the life. And we see Am Yisrael bring life into the world, and we see the Geulah and the life of Hashem flow into the world. B'chesed u'b'racham.
Amen.
Questions?
The women also celebrating when it came to the water pouring ceremony, or were they at home sewing, which is a different way of celebrating.
I'm sure there was one woman sewing because the Gemara says that even if a woman was sewing, she would have light. But women were very involved in the Simchat Beis. In the Beit Medrash, the men stood on the bottom and the women had the top. And it was the whole section called the Tzfat Nashim, and the celebrations were very. The Zohar Kadosh writes. The Zohar writes that when Am Yisrael would go up to the Aliyah L'Regel, there was a fountain of water in the Beit Hamikdash, that the men would just drink from that water, and that would clear, and they wouldn't have any wrong thoughts during that whole duration of the time that they were in the Beit Hamikdash. Oh, so was that questions?
In the book of Halakha, it says that it doesn't matter if women wear white or not, they cannot speak in the sense of angels.
Why is there a difference? Why is there a difference between men and women? The minhag to wear white is also stemming from like the angelic look.
So why can't
There's no difference between men and women on Yom Kippur. As a matter of fact, Yom Kippur, even Al-Pi Kabbalah, is even more connected to the woman than it is to the man.
Yeah, like I always said, like, women are very spiritual and they. But what I understand is that they're not elevated to the same status of angels. Or if they are, they, well, it says clearly, it wasn't really explanation, it was the one sentence, kind of like question and answer.
From my understanding, again, if I see something different, I'll try to find you and tell you, but I didn't understand the difference between men and women. It's not even going to the mikveh, which usually women, go to the mikveh for women purposes. There's many minhagim that even women go to the mikveh Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
Because for Yom Kippur. No, nothing to do with where she's holding the light.
Why did you say it's more connected to the women generally?
Al-Pi Kabbalah, I'm not going to get into it now. Al-Pi Kabbalah, the Malchut, the Yom Kippur is connected to the more feminine part, the Malchut. It's the main day of the Yom Kippur is the Malchut going up to Bina. So it's not meaning the Arizal has to explain why men fast Yom Kippur. The Arizal explains why men also fast Yom Kippur. Because really the Malchut was the main aliyah. And Zer Anpin also has an aliyah because of the Malchut. So men, when we look to Zeir Anpin and Malchut, Kuchabrik Ushchintei, these two revelations of Hashem. So Zeir Anpin is the male in the revelation, and Malchut is the female.
Why are all the kings men? Confusing us here.
That's I don't want to get into it because this is more. No. Malchut in general, the concept of Malchut is a female concept.
Because it's a receiver.
Exactly. It has En Melech Belo Am. What makes the king is the nation. I mean, you could have a guy who's super powerful, super rich, super smart, everything, PhD in everything in the world. He's not a king. Because the name king, like you could say, he's not a father, he doesn't have a son. Like he's such a great guy. No kids, you can't call him a father. Once he has a kid, he's a father. Same thing with the king. The king is, the relationship king is activated through the nation. There's no nation. The term king is there, but it's dormant. It's not potential, but it's not actual.
But he receives from the nation power to receive or.
Hey. No. I'm very for you. No.
This relationship between a all-powerful to a nation that receives it, that creates that tension.
No.
But there's a nation just accepts the Ratzon Hashem. You're the king.
No.
Hashem put us at such a distance that we could have that relationship with Hashem.
Hey, come say. Say. Come say. 6. 10. Come here.
6, 10.
Come say.
Thank you.
Ask a question. I don't know. You're in the middle
My
of
father told me, I grew up in Tzfat, so we had all kinds of holy brothers come to our house. All kinds. And my father told me, whatever they say, you say yes. The guy says, it's Monday, it's Monday. It's Tuesday, it's Tuesday. We just move on.
And thank you. We learned that there's a bit of a machlokas whether you ask for something for your personal needs on Rosh Hashanah, right? Whether you should or you shouldn't. What is that in relation to Yom Kippur? Does one ask for their personal needs, or you're too busy?
Saying sorry.
Saying sorry.
So, right, I would say
So the
that,
room for other things, is there room for gratitude? Is there room for just?
I would say the question is deeper.
Okay. Yeah, I meant that.
I would say, meaning, when are you asking for personal things? What I'm saying deeper is, what is my identity when I say I? I am hungry. It's clear that I'm talking about my stomach, because I can't identify with everyone, with my nation, and say my nation's hungry. If I were right now the king of Israel or the prophet of Israel, and I would say, I am hungry, that would mean my nation is hungry, the royal we. Okay, so the same thing. There's the idea here, we're trying to raise ourselves out of yourself a little bit. You're right, there's yourself, but there's man with a capital N. Go back into creation of man. And if you could feel that feeling of what does man need? What does the team need? What does Am Yisrael need? Like, that's to pick up your own identity. So we're all prat, we're all individuals, but in the blessing of the klal, all the pratim get their answer. So when the general is blessed, all the individual parts of the general is blessed. So the bigger, I'm saying the bigger attempt over here that I'm trying to, in all these teachings, is to zoom out of the details into the greater, and realize that we're a nation with a mission. There's a partnership with God. We're here Sukkot, we're here Hanukkah, we're Purim. If you notice, it's the same theme throughout the entire time. It's noticing the rhyme and the reason and how it's all one. So,
and the more strongly you connect to the Am,
then you could also
then
come.
Your fate is more
right, but then you could also come with a strong arm, because you can't come and say I want. I want is like But if you're saying my nation needs, and I was the creator, you made the nation.
Hey.
Yes, my friend.
Go, man, go.
6 o'clock.
No.
6 o'clock.
6.
You better tell him yes.
6 minutes.
Yeah. Oh,
6 o'clock, yes.
6 o'clock.
Go.
We're gonna take extra minutes for every time you interrupt them.
No, let's just say yes.
So, yeah. 6 o'clock.
Okay.
I have a question. It's like forgiving, like the whole dynamics of forgiving other people. For example, like situations that we're not really in control of. Like how
every real situation is that one.
No, like, and also like when people hurt you and you didn't do anything, and of course you forgive them because you know that they're crazy or there's something that mentally wrong with them. It's a funny scenario. This it's like a real question for me because like okay, you have to forgive them, but then you don't have to have anything to do with them. But what if they're your family? What if they're like your neighbor? Like the whole dynamic of how can you make shalom with like people like that? You can't. Like there's no possible way.
So Rav Nachman speaks about something, a concept, a very strong concept, which is la'afoch kas v'rachmanut, transforming anger into compassion. So anger is a fire, right? You're a woman, and imagine you're upset, and then your husband says, don't worry. It just gets the fire, just flares up. It just like poured, more gasoline on the fire. Don't worry, it's not. I mean, don't worry, I'm worried, right? So you can't just say, hey, fire, there's no fire. There's a fire. So what we could do is we could realize that there's a deeper compassionate look that I could look at. And that compassion is also fire. Rachamim is also fire. It's a feeling of fire. So if I could,
heard, something nice today, to eat fish, dag, שלא יהיה דאגה. You understand?
right? So if we're able to look, if we're able to look at, right, this person is, you're in pain or some kind of struggle with them. That's at face value. If you're able to, this is, you're gonna need some greatness for it, some quiet or some meditation, so you can't do it when you're stressed out. But to really look deeper into their circumstances and try to find compassion. Even if the compassion is like, wow, I can't believe that a godly soul is behaving in such a animalistic way. Like, wow. Like, if this person only was aware, and I can't believe how much pain, and you could see their abuse, and you could see their inner child, and the more you could really see it that way, it's not a fake out. It's actually more true than your anger. It's usually the case. It's much more rachmanas than you even make it. So, but inside of you, it does justice to the feeling, to the fire inside of you. And it's not to be passive aggressive to the guy, oh, nebuch, and like, no, that's not, that would be that's using it, in the wrong way. But to really inside to have rachmanas on this, on Am Yisrael in general, and on this person in particular, for being in Golas. And in a deep way, the tzaddikim, when they saw this, they would just raise their eyes to the heavens and start crying to Hashem for the Golas. Because this Jew is he's just showing where the Shekhinah is. This is where the presence of Hashem is. Like, Hashem, wow, this is where you are. This is where your partners are. This is where your people are. Like, wow, it's a rachmanas on the Shekhinah, it's a rachmanas on Hashem. You could turn the whole thing into a tremendous davening. That's what the Baal Tanya speaks about. So if you're able to do that, then you could kind of like reframe the emotion for this person. And then you could help them also. Even if you don't want to help them, but I'm saying, you could help them by, that's what Rav Nachman speaks about, once you could see the Nakuda Tova in a person, then that's the beginning of the cycle of their change. That's when things can start. Because as long as I'm noticing the ugly in them, it's there. They know it, everyone else knows it, and if I'm looking at it, all that's seen is ugly. But if I decide to put on holy glasses, Berditchever glasses, or Nachman glasses, and to go over myself and realize there's an animal soul, there's a God that there must be something good here. And when I find the good thing in him and activate that mercy in him, then there's someone in the world that's seeing good in this person. And therefore, and I want to tell you, this brings us back. One of the things that we're going to speak about is kaparos. The meaning that we have to do kaparos, Erev Yom Kippur. And it's very interesting. In the Nusach of Kaparos, we say with him, Yeshalav melitz achad mini elef. We say this pasuk that says that if there's even one angel from 1,000, let's say there's 1,000 accusing angels and one good guy, we're asking Hashem. So that means that you don't know sometimes what voices are standing against this human, like spiritually. Our kaf schus could sometimes be what saves him.
So, for example, like I'm dealing with a lot of women that are in Muna or like having problems with situations that are like they're stuck. And so like what's a way to they're evil, like their mom's being evil by not giving a get. Like that's just but the fact that like, okay, you could say, oh, compassion on them, they had a child with a problem, they're narcissistic, like, yeah, but okay, that's all nice and dandy, but when you're in a situation where you're stuck, or in a family situation where you're like, you have to see them, and it's not healthy to see them. For example, like those stories about like very unhealthy parents, right? So like, the question is, how can one person really ask forgiveness for something they don't even feel like there's like, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out the question and, I guess I'm just like annoyed by the situations of how there's so many situations, people have so much rachmanas on people, but they should have rachmanas on. Like there should not be any rachmanas on them.
Right, so there's a lot of times, many circumstances in life that you won't be able to change the circumstance.
Right.
We find ourselves fixed. This is here, and suddenly you're in that position. The only thing that we could change is our attitude. And your attitude really will change the entire perspective of where you are. So if you could realize that there's things that are not my choice and I can't, but there's things that are my choice. What's not your choice, put aside, it's not yours. But what it is, we say, it's my choice to live a happier life. It's my choice to be a better mother to my kids, be a better sister to my sisters, and a better kid to my parents. We're in many positions. You're not just a wife, you're also a cousin, you're an aunt, we have many, many, many positions. Sometimes we get so caught up in the drama of one position that we forget that there's many other positions that we need to assume, and there's many people that need us and that we're there for them. And you can make a decision to pull out of that drama and say, there's a drama, I can't handle this, okay, I'm gonna put this aside. But I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm an aunt, I'm a cousin, I'm a person, right? And why not? So even for the wrong reasons, you could say, this person doesn't deserve anything, but I don't deserve pain. I don't have to deserve it, meaning this pain can be self-inflicted. It's a choice. I don't have to make these choices anymore. This person doesn't deserve a thing. If I had a shotgun, I would shoot them. I don't have a shotgun, and I'm in pain. So, okay, emotion, put it aside. Say, okay, what could I do?
6.
It's not 6 yet.
Yeah, 6 o'clock, my friend. Thank you.
6.
Thank you, my friend.
Go.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, 5.
Thank you. Mirroring, that's like one of the simplest techniques. Okay.
You're good at it.
That could have just been the whole shiur. That was like, I was like, extra visual.
There's another workshop situation here.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you, everyone. We should, I'm sure should experience a sweet, beautiful year.
Thank you
Pleasure.
so much. Yes,
It was dedicated by Elisha and Nika, okay, in memory of her mother-in-law, Shoshana Bar Moshe. Thank you, Elisha.
Thank you so much. תודה לך על הזמן. איך אתה מנהל מצבים מורכבים.
Okay, so we have a little
בפשטות.
right now, and it's actually walking over to
תודה רבה.
כל מריבה
צריך 2 לריב, 1 לשלום.
Hey.
Does he have any Zoom classes?
Why do you have Zoom class?